And the idea is that, as it says in the Course in Miracles, it says Spirit cannot take from you what you will not give to him. You can't just bring the light to the darkness. You can't just pour pink paint over all the stuff within you and pretend it's not there. Have you noticed those people who go like, I don't get angry. I don't have any anger. I've been doing this work life for about a year and I don't get angry. These people are so dangerous. These are the people who stick it to you the minute you turn your back. Right? So you can't just pour the pink paint. You can't just pour the light on the darkness. You have to bring the darkness to light. You have to bring the darkness to light, and then you can surrender it. So what the Catholics do is they confess. You know the word sin, it's an arbitrary term, you miss the mark. They confess their sins. In Judaism, the most holy day of the year is called Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. When you go through the entire year and you really go through a prayer book and you mention every possible way you could have deviated from the divine. You know, sin is an archery term. It means you missed the mark. The shadow is that place where we, as I said, the love doesn't extend. The heart gets locked. We automatically go into a heart lock. And so it says, you know, in the Bob Dylan song, you're going to have to serve somebody. It might be the devil and it might be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. In A Course in Miracles, it says, in every single moment, you are either host to God or hostage to the ego. In every single moment, we're either open in love or closed. And in that closed place, we go into fear and it shows up as the shadow self. I know for myself, there have been a lot of times in my life where I got it, I was in therapy about it, I could see it, but sometimes the ego mind almost uses a kind of pseudo-self-awareness as a way to stay stuck in it. Well, this is just the way I am, I'm working on it. We don't have time on the planet for that kind of talk anymore. We truly don't. We've got a ship that's headed towards the iceberg. That's why I think there's so much of a resonance with the story of the Titanic, not just because it was a good movie, but because we all know we're on it. And we have to turn this thing around. And if you just look in terms of probability vectors on the planet, and of course, why are we a ship headed towards the Titanic to begin with? The collective shadow. The collective shadow. I mean, only your collective shadow would treat the world with such lack of sacred sensibility as to do that kind of offshore drilling to begin with. Only a collective shadow would treat the world with such lack of sanctity as to allow 17,000 children to die of hunger every day. So there are individual shadows and there are collective shadows. You know, it's interesting, we're good people. The majority of people on the planet are good people. So if the majority of people on the planet are good people, why is the world in the state that it's in? The reason the world's in the states it's in is because those who hate, while only a small amount of people, hate with greater conviction. We must love with greater conviction. And as we love with greater conviction, that means it is no longer enough to say, well, this is just how I am. It is time to say, this is how I have been until this moment. And I'm pretty good, but good's not enough. It's time for us to say, not only that we're going to claim our shadow, at this time we need to, with just as much conviction and just as much as rigor, say, I'm going to claim my light. And part of my light is my willingness to look at the shadow, to look at the darkness, to look at the character defect and say, I might not be able to heal this, but I know God can. And dear God, please do. Thank you.